Good morning. I trust your week has gone really well for you. Ours has. One of the special things that we did this week was to go to the Farm Progress Show. It is a humongous display of farm equipment and all various things from loaning money to chemicals to everything else related to farming. It's quite a show. I've been wanting to go to it since I was in high school. And when we moved here to Bloomington, discovered it was going to be just 45 miles from where we live. So what a fun thing to be able to do. Judy and I have talked about the phrase over the years many times. That's the way we do things around here. Sometimes it's verbalized and sometimes it isn't. You know, some churches start precisely on time and you don't have to go very long before you find out there's a time to get done. And then other churches kind of wait around till everybody gets there, or at least a certain Aunt Bessie gets there, and then we can start. Similarly, with communion, I don't know how many churches I have preached at and happened to be there on Communion Sunday or served as their permanent or interim pastor, and they have basically said, we do it like everybody else. But you know, one church that we served had communion in the outer ring of communion cups and grape juice on the inside. Another church did it on the last Sunday of the month, not the first Sunday. Another church we attended has communion every Sunday, and people all come forward where a young couple serves them the elements of communion. Other churches have a certain number of prayers. I have not precisely got that calculated, but there's a prayer before the communion service starts, there's a prayer before the bread is distributed, there's a prayer before the cup is distributed, there's a prayer after, and sometimes it seems that they expect another prayer or two in the middle of that. One church we attended couldn't use unleavened bread because they had been using Aunt Bessie's sweet bread for many, many years, and who could break the tradition of that? Who was going to mess with that cultural tradition? As with any traditional culture, the newcomer is expected to learn the way we do things, whether that is a church leader or the pastor. If the pastor doesn't, people may be offended. They may get upset because he is not following their culture, that they do not, or they always do, sing every verse of every song that they sing. The order of worship in some churches is a sacred cow of their culture, and to switch a prayer to a different place or the special music to a different place is disturbing to their culture. Now, you can get upset and say it doesn't matter, but one of the things that we're looking at the cultural dynamics of congregational ministry is we as Christian leaders need to learn the culture of the church where we are serving as Christian leaders. Our assignment this week has been to wrestle with the aspects of whether a church is too acclimated to the culture or they are too withdrawn from the culture. One of the questions that comes to my mind is, can a church really sense when they have done either? And how would you help leaders to sit down and evaluatively think deeply about that whole situation? I thought Couch had some excellent material this week about the early church. Now, you may have reservations with how he seems to deal with Genesis and maybe Revelation, but the material in the in-between chapters is really awesome as he explains how the early church wrestled with this matter of the Gentile-Jewish conflict and tension of their religious culture and their idolatrous culture. Those are excellent things. Effective church leaders are going to consider important matters like that and not get distracted by trying to coerce a culture to change. Acts 15 is a beautiful example of changing culture in a discussion-based orientation. I hope you're really wrestling with these concepts from the discussion board, the article that we were to read, the video, the Couch's material. Those are very helpful and will help you become an effective Christian leader. Think deeply as you wrap up your responsibilities this week, and always feel free to give me a call or email or text me, and we will connect. What an awesome theme that we have had. I pray that you have an awesome, great time of worship this weekend. Think about the culture of the church where you worship. How would a first-time visitor who does not know Christ feel if they came in and sat down beside you? What would a collegian feel like? Or what would a retiree think? Those are important things for us to think about as Christian leaders. Too easily, we put up a little box, our cultural perspective, and say, well, I liked it, and that's all that matters. Everybody else needs to change. We need to think that one through. God bless you as you wind up this week.